Well, hello and good morning. It's come to my attention that this week is Non Binary Awareness Week, and I am non binary, and I'm coming on here to just kind of share my story. My name is Aaron. I am 32 years old, and I came out about a year and a few months ago. I'm still discovering who I am and what I'm about, but I've been living unapologetically myself the past year or so. That means just being myself in its truest form, whether that means, dressing more feminine, dressing more masculine, more androgynous, kind of just living for myself. I know a lot of people struggle with how they want to be conceived by others, potentially due to dysphoria and how they look. I myself included. I'm not always happy with how I present or how I come off to others, but a lot of the times I'm happy with how I look, and I've just learned to live my life however I want, and every day is a new day, and every day is a new style. There's so many times that I run into people who don't know kind of how they want to come out or how they want to share their story or really where they're at. And that's okay. Every transition, every journey, every situation is valid. Whether you're questioning your identity, whether you are comfortable with where you are, or whether you want to keep going in a direction, or even if you decide to detransition, everyone is valid in their journey. And this is just mine. I guess I'll start from the beginning. A couple years back, I started not practicing, but more having an interest in women's clothing. Mostly leggings, cute tops, things that were a little more flowy. And I was painting my nails and playing with the term non-binary, but it wasn't as commonly used as it is today, so I wasn't sure. I think I came out to like one person who I was working with, and they were very accepting and very comfortable, and I just wasn't comfortable myself really being public about it, so I kind of quote unquote went back in the closet, I guess I'd say. But mentally I knew that I wasn't a man per se, you know what I mean? So some more time passed, and I got involved with some groups online and some in-person meetups where I met some really amazing people who were very candid and very open with their identities and their stories, and made me feel a lot more comfortable being who I was. I was working for an organization that was very queer positive, and I felt like I was in a safe space to comfortably come out as non-binary. So on April 20th of 2023, I came out publicly and started experimenting with wearing makeup, wearing women's clothes. I would go online, look at makeup tutorials that drag queens were posting, and oh my god, if you want to learn how to do makeup, I'm telling you, you gotta go check out some drag queen videos. it's amazing what those performers can pull off and the looks they do. I tone it down a little bit nowadays, depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going. But that's why I learned my main points was from drag queens. Um, and I found a lot of inspiration in the queer community to just openly be myself. And I learned to not let other people's opinions bother me or get to me, because I truly just started living to make myself happy. I got to a point in my life where I was a people pleaser. I was trying to make my parents happy, my spouse happy, my kids happy, but I was kind of like getting lost in the background. You know, I wasn't doing anything that really made me happy. So when I came out, I decided to start living my life for me. I started just being myself, saying what was on my mind, openly sharing my thoughts with my partner. My wife is amazing. I am married. She's a fantastic woman. I wouldn't trade her for the world. And in the beginning, you know, she wasn't 100% supportive of the whole situation. But she gave me the chance to prove to her that I'm going to be the best version of myself that I've ever been. And here we are, a year and a few months later, and I'm the happiest I've been all of my life. I had a rough childhood with things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. You know, some things that children should never have to go through, and experiences that I will never put my children through. But I use that to, you know, maybe we can get into that more another day. Those situations made me stronger. They made me who I was today, and made me a better parent to the children I have. I have 3 amazing children. 2 of them are more grown. 1 of them is younger. My youngest refers to me as both mommy and daddy, depending on her mood. And I don't, you know, I encourage it. I love that she looks to me for both roles in her life and is accepting and understanding. And I think this next generation of kids is really going to understand that gender roles are really just a social construct that need to be broken down. Men can be just as nurturing as women. They can be amazing caregivers. They can be people who, you know, will put a band-aid on that boo-boo and make sure that it feels better. They'll be there to talk about emotions and work through hard experiences and comfort children during grief and things like that, and help process emotions. And women can be strong, and, you know, they can be providers, and they can be breadwinners, and they can do anything a man can do, anyone can do anything. We don't need to fit into these, you know, quaint little boxes that society has told us as individuals and as men and as women what we need to be. That's not the world we live in today. It's okay to be whoever you want to be, whether that's, you know, a man, a woman, somewhere in between, someone who doesn't identify as either. But if you're having a hard time figuring out who you are, you know, take some time, do a little research, try some things out. Don't be afraid to explore your options and understand what the world has to offer. Um, because when you find your place and you find your niche, the world becomes such a better place. For at least for me, it did. For a long time, I was depressed. I was anxious. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I didn't know what I stood for. I didn't know what my goals were. I had no ambition to really move forward in life. And after coming out, I've made some amazing milestones. I've tried a lot of things in life that I never thought I would. I've achieved some goals that I didn't think were going to be possible. I feel like I'm a better parent. I am more comforting towards my children. I'm less aggressive and more, empathetic towards their feelings and wants and needs. I'm the same with my wife as well. I am more in tune with her wants and needs, and we allow each other the space to explore our identities and what truly makes one another happy. And I know not everyone has that luxury, and it's hard. It's really hard sometimes to talk to your partner or your kids or your family about gender identity, especially in your adult life. I didn't come out until I was in my 30s, and there's many people in this world who still refer to me as my dead name, the name I once went by. But that person is dead. That's not who I am anymore. There's a reason they call it a dead name, because that person died when I came out. I'm not that person anymore. I'm a new person, and I'm part of some amazing communities, both online and in person, that have really opened my eyes to what the world offers to people who might be a little broken or have some rough edges or may not fit in with normal society. And it's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to not know who you are. And when you find out who you want to be or where you're going, or set a goal and really work on it, the world opens up and shows you that the possibilities are just endless. More specifically, I've discovered that the queer community as a whole has been so understanding and open and raw with things. It's the resources you can find online are nearly limitless. There's Discord communities, there's Reddit pages, there's Facebook groups. TikTok is full of, so many videos of people transitioning and being open about whether they're medically transitioning, or just moving along in their journey and presenting a different way, but you don't have to present a certain way, or, androgyny doesn't mean non-binary, dressing feminine doesn't mean non-binary, dressing masculine doesn't mean non-binary. It's just, you just don't identify with either gender. And you're in this gray area where you just kind of exist. And sometimes you want to present more feminine, sometimes you want to present more masculine, sometimes you want to confuse your neighbor, you know? I've kind of done all that, and it's great. Um, I'm about a year into my journey, and, I still get dead named by my family. I still, um, some of my family just doesn't understand what it truly means to change like that. And some people aren't going to understand, but that's okay. I've lived my life as one person for 30 years. And hope that one day someone's going to understand it is a lot to ask. The one thing I will say is when people really do embrace the newest version of you and respect your pronouns and your new name. When my wife calls me Aaron and uses the correct pronouns, it makes my heart flutter. Because it's validating. It makes you feel like you're heard and understood on a level that most people don't take the time to really understand. The world can be a really scary place for anyone, but more specifically those in the queer community, because you never know where you're going to feel safe. You never know where you're going to be accepted. You never know if you're going to be validated. But I'm telling you, there's spaces out there where you're going to be able to be yourself. It takes some time to find those spaces. I'm still discovering them. I'm probably at like a 70-30 where I live my life 70% as Aaron and like 30% as the old person I once was, because when people don't use my current name, it brings out a part of me that doesn't really want to be brought out anymore. There's a reason they call it a dead name. I think I've said that, but that person just doesn't exist. But I hope to one day help someone along their journey. And I've had people message me and thank me for being so unapologetically myself. And people were questioning who they were. And when I came out, people felt more comfortable around me. And I kind of notice that when you share a story with someone, or you tell them kind of what you've been through, they see you more as a safe space to kind of share their story. And I hope to one day help someone, whether that be a friend, a stranger, a childhood friend, someone I met recently, maybe someone listening today. Just know that you are valid no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you're questioning, whether you're, years into your journey or transition, or thinking about starting hormones, or not in a place where you can, or a part of the world where that's not socially acceptable, just understand that no matter who you are valid. And I want you to know that. And I think some people need to hear that. And there is a place for you, somewhere in this world. Someone, or many people, eventually will see you for who you are. And I have a lot of amazing friends who I can talk to for a couple days and then essentially ghost them for a couple months and come back, and it's like I never left, because they're just so amazing. And those friends are mostly in the queer community, because we understand that sometimes things get a little complicated and we don't know how to communicate our feelings or what's going on in our lives or whatever, but we pick up and we move on. Also, I just want to say my mom has been amazing along this journey. Probably the only family member other than my wife who really took the time to understand, and she's still learning. She doesn't understand all the terminology these days, but she's so accepting and so wonderful. And I have that luxury of people around me being allies, or questioning their own identities or their own orientations, which will be a whole nother spiel about orientations. That's sexual orientations, like who you're interested in or not interested in, and that's another thing. If you are in the queer community and you're in like a relationship that appears to be heterosexual, that doesn't invalidate you in any way. I am married to a woman. I was born a man. And from the outside looking in, that looks very average and normal. But when you get talking to me, and really hear me out, you'll understand that things run a little different around here. I'm not the manliest man. I'm not the girliest girl. I'm just Aaron. But I think just Aaron is just enough. And one day I'll be even better. But for now, we're working on it. And I hope I can gain some people to really strengthen me and help me understand more of my journey. A big shout out to those who have helped me along the way and helped me understand that it's okay to feel like I do, and to help me realize that I don't have to fit into a box. It's okay to be rough around the edges. It's okay to be a little battle torn. It's okay to not be okay. It gets better. It really does. You just have to find the right people to reach out to. You have to find a safe space to feel comfortable talking about these kind of things. And I hope that anyone questioning their identity who knows me personally reaches out, because I can share my story in more detail. This is the first time I'm doing anything like this, so I'm not going to get into too much detail. Um, you know, but I want the world to be a better place. And I want people to know that things do get better. You will be happier. You will feel more comfortable. And, there's going to be times when you want to go back to who you were, or things aren't working out quite the way you wanted them to, or people are going to ask you what you're doing or not understand. But it's okay. It's okay for people to not understand. The thing is you just have to live your life for you. Do what makes you happy. And truly just be yourself. Just be you. In all senses of the word, whatever that means. And if you don't know who you are, take some time to really figure it out. Experiment a little bit. Try that dress on. Try that skirt on. Try that button down on. Shop in the women's department. Shop in the men's department. Goodwill's an excellent resource because they just have so many clothes, and you can just go and try on just about anything. Go with a couple friends and just play around. Take some pictures of yourself and look back later and see what you like. Go with friends who are going to make you feel comfortable, though. My wife has gone with me multiple times to TJ Maxx, to Goodwill, to Walmart, to Target, where I've discovered that I enjoy shopping the women's department. The clothes fit me better. They look better on me, and I feel more comfortable in them. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the sizing. That's still an issue. I think that goes for men's clothes as well, though. Sizing is always going to be an issue. It's never the same system. Experiment with makeup. Experiment with a new hairstyle. You have to really figure out who you are. I think that's when the world becomes so much more enjoyable to be in, is when you take the time to really figure out who you are. And I can comfortably say that I am Aaron. I am non-binary, and I am proud of who I am and who I'm becoming. I hope that you got something out of this. If you did, feel free to share your story or your ideas, if you have any for me, that could maybe help me, feel even more comfortable. Anyways, it was nice talking to you all. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of Non-Binary Awareness Week. Maybe we'll post another one of these. Maybe this will be a one-time thing. There's only one way to find out, Just keep trying or see how this goes. You all have a wonderful day, and that's my thoughts for this morning.